guys. Questions for Connor Cook?
Connor, first quarterback to make his starting debut in the playoff games. What do you expect it's going to be like for you?
I'm just embracing the opportunity. Going to go out there, have fun. Just let it all hang out, and obviously prepare my butt off. Do what I've been doing all season long, and just go out there and have fun with my teammates.
You guys yesterday were talking about how calm you were. Came in on Sunday, calm in the huddle, things like that. Were you calm on the inside, or was that?
I felt pretty calm. With the hard circumstances, just going in there and stuff. I felt like I was confident. And I know the offense well. I've been in the system for almost a year now. We were running stuff that I've been familiar with, so it was actually fun to get out there and get some reps.
You talked about how you ran some plays. You had on Sunday you ran some plays. You had practice. How much easier will it be having the game plan catered to you and be able to go through the whole week of practice with it before Saturday?
Yeah, it should be good. Just getting as many reps as possible. Reps on the side. After, if it's not during a team period, if it's during a special teams period, getting more and more reps, just practicing stuff, repetition after repetition. So, just looking forward to that.
You mentioned back on Sunday that the game slowed down for you after some of the first exam. Is it something you take away from playing in big time games in college that kind of helps you calm down, and once you see the speed of the game, you make it a little bit slower?
No, you just go out there and play, really. You always have the nerves leading up to the game, and once you get out there and you have a couple snaps and you get hit, get knocked down, I think all that stuff kind of goes away and you start to play ball. So, obviously playing at Michigan State, we played in some big-time games there. We were fortunate enough to do that. So, I'm going to try and take whatever I did there and use it, put it to use out there Sunday or Saturday.
You often hear that it's easier sometimes for a backup quarterback to be thrown in without knowing he's going to start, as opposed to knowing you're going to start. That you're a little bit of nerves there, thinking, hey, I'm going to start. Do you see anything in that?
Nope, not really. I was nervous last week just being activated. Being inactive all season long, and finally knowing that I was one play away. I was preparing like I was the guy. So I was nervous going into the Denver game. Just like I am. Just like I'll have the nerves going into this game. So it's all the same.
Did you get much sleep this week?
Oh yeah, slept great last night.
And have you gotten advice from anyone, like you heard from other people around the league, or any old teammates at Michigan State?
I talked to my quarterback coach from Michigan State last night, Brad Salem, and then Obviously Derek. Talking to him, just trying to encourage me, giving me all the confidence that I need heading into this game.
What has been last week going from a third string in your rookie year to starting the playoff game? Has it been a little bit of a whirlwind for you?
Yeah, for sure. Just the name of the game. It's just you see things like this happen a lot. Anything can happen, anything can change with the drop of a hat. So you just always got to be ready. And, whether if it's out there on the practice field getting mental reps, putting yourself through it mentally, to now actually getting reps, you just got to approach it, approach every single day like it's the same.
You were a guy going into the draft that thought you might be drafted by somebody that needed a starting quarterback, and you have a chance to be starting this year. So do you feel like you've kind of always been ready to dip your jump in and be a starter in this league?
I think I've always been ready to go in if they needed me. There's still so much to learn. So much for me to improve on, watching, Derek play, watching Matt play. They do a lot of things, that I need to get better at. So, watching them, if they ever needed me, I think that, I would be able to go in and contribute. But yeah, that, stuff like that.
Even though you weren't active for the game, does it help to have that film of Houston from Mexico City?
Say it one more time?
Even though you weren't active for the game, does it help that the team has played Mexico City and to watch that film of what Derek was able to do?
Yeah, for sure. That's, a point of emphasis for us. We're going to watch that game. A bunch of us have already sat down and watched the game. And you just, try and pull up things, that we can try and exploit in this week's game.
What do you see from Clowney when you watch the film?
Very talented edge rusher, a guy who could stop the run, get to the quarterback, in a pass rush. Just a guy who makes plays all over the field. A guy who could, track down a receiver who's running 40 yards downfield. I think he ran like a 4.04, whatever it was at the combine. So he's a very, very talented football player.
How would your game improve maybe since training camp and you played in the division games until now?
How has it improved? I think just confidence. When you come in, you're a rookie, you're kind of unsure of the offense, timing with the receivers, all that stuff. So now just having, almost a full season under my belt, getting, staying after, getting extra reps after practice, Coming out, before in pregame, when I was inactive, throwing with, other receivers, just building the timing, the route concepts, all that stuff, and the knowledge of the offense. Just learning all that, I think I'm just more confident, more in control.
A quarterback has got to be a leader, and different guys, some are rah-rah, some are lead by example. What's your demeanor?
I'm just going to go out there and make plays, for my teammates. I've never been the kind of rah-rah kind of guy. I'm going to be vocal inside the huddle. I'm going to communicate to my guys on the sideline and stuff like that. But I would just always go out there and just try and make plays and let the play, speak for itself.
You mentioned developing kind of timing with receivers. How much work have you gotten with Crabtree or Cooper throughout the year? Have you had a chance to actually throw the balls?
A little bit here and there in practice. If it's just routes on air. If we're doing like quarterback drills and they're just spot catching, stuff like that. So that's really all the chemistry that I've had with them, or opportunities to work with them in practice in drills like that.
2 more, guys. That's it.
When did you find out, or how did you find out that you would be starting this weekend?
I came in this morning and Coach Todd Downing told me. So I came in and talked to TD.
Have you heard from Draymond Green?
I'm not.
Do you have any family?
Do you know him?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any family come to the game? Or?
Yeah, mom, dad, sister, girlfriend.
And what was your reaction when Todd told you?
Just ready, gonna embrace this opportunity, give it everything I got, and go out there and have fun.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.